Well, our work on Wild Turfey lately has been pretty successful, and it's currently the night after Halloween, so Turfey's still out on the front yard, getting rained on tonight actually, so I haven't brought him in yet. One more night in the rain's not going to hurt that thing. Did great all night, lights on, well, all, turned them out in the evening, but, when the trick-or-treaters were coming by, looked awesome. If you haven't been following along with Wild Turfey, check out our last video. It's a 1980 Turf-Trac riding mower, which is sold by, or was sold by Co-op here in Canada, basically an MTD. And I've been slowly, over the process of years, kind of resurrecting it our way. So with that in mind, well, we have clean workbench, which is pretty gratifying. And then the question becomes, well, what do we do next? I mean, we've got all these engines up here, and there's engines down there, and there's engines over there, right up there, and there's quads and stuff over here, all kinds of stuff here. So I don't know what I'm going to work on next. There's too many to choose from. So well, now what's that? Let me set you down here for a second. It's the 1988 Chevy 1500, the real base model with a manual rear-wheel drive V6. You checking it out, Mr. Stratton? Does it look good? What? What's that? Come here. What did you say? You checked it out? You already looked? Well, what's your expert diagnosis? Stratton's already checked it out, and he's come up with a diagnosis. He says it needs a starter.
Desert Dust Bowl song, where the billman will call you almost every week. Which bills to pay today, what's left in the fridge to eat. Where stars frame the night, born out a train, just close enough to give hope, but too far to reach.
All right, first thing to do is disconnect the let's file this under you got to do what you got to do. We don't judge things we find on this truck because it's lived an interesting life. We have to disconnect the negative cable, and so that's just, I guess, this. Oh, maybe we can just do that. Okay, well, yeah. So there we go. The negative cable's disconnected. All right, we're under the truck. There's the manual transmission. Lifted it up a little bit. There's a jack stand there. I know it's not touching. It's more just for safety. I didn't lift this thing up a lot. There's another one there. Front wheels are pretty much on the ground still, but just to, a little bit of safety, a little bit of space. And you can see what we're up against. So there is the starter. Just basically a couple bolts. The wiring is up, let's see if my finger will even go in there, up there. It's kind of jammed against the manifold, so it's really quite tight. And, you know, we have the clutch cylinder in the way and this little brace. I don't think I have to pull either of those off to get this out. You know, it's really a matter of the 2 bolts there, and then this should come off. And then I'm going to disconnect the wiring after. So that's kind of next. All right, hopefully you can see that in the interest of high speed, we're going to succumb to the siren song of extreme overkill. All right, 2 bolts, that's it. Now hopefully I can move this enough to see what we need for disconnecting the electrical. All right, what do we need there? Oh dear. Hopefully you're getting this. Might not even, I'm not sure. Customer didn't tell me what his complaint was, why we were changing it, but that wire being loose, you know, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. Could be why we're having trouble, but we're going to change this anyway, and we'll give them back the old starter. Looks like we need a 1/2 inch to get the main cable off, and a little smaller something to get the solenoid cable off, and then we're good to go. Well, there we are. Certainly looks like the right part. This one feels distinctly more loose though. Now, I'm sure you can guess that installation is going to be kind of the reverse of removal. I'm just dialing down the power of the tools I'm using, because I'm not a complete maniac, just a partial one. Let's see what it does. Well, I got to be pretty fast because the battery died and we've got about 6% now. So anyway, starter's done, as you saw. Works really well. It's about 1:15 in the morning, so it doesn't make much sense to call Derek and let him know it's ready, but maybe I'll text him. And next project, I think, my pal Jerry brought over an air compressor a while ago, a tank and a compressor itself, and he wants a gas-powered compressor so he can go rescue old vehicles out of, out of the bush. And I have an iron horse that I think will work pretty well for that. We just gotta get it fixed up and running. So I think that's next. All right, look for that coming soon. And until then, cheers. Well, good evening. I've got the Flex in here tonight for winter tire changeover, but it was outside. It's a little chilly, so I'm just letting it get warmed back up in here while we're waiting. A little bit more work on Wild Turfey 1980 Turf-Trac with a Briggs 11 horsepower engine. And last time, when I was trying to get it to start, I kept popping the fuse. And I thought, I'd wired something wrong. That's the logical place to go after all I'd done with the thing. And I confirmed that no, everything's wired correctly. And going back and doing some reading and learning, I found out I made an assumption. And that assumption was largely based on experiences with other tractors that have rolled through this shop, like Old Gil and Old Jake. If you have a 12-volt battery, I thought you'd have, 12 volts, automotive style points and coil and everything. So I bought a key switch, 3-position, 3-terminal, essentially, and it fed 12 volts to the coil. And as it turns out, this has a magneto ignition, just like any gas lawnmower, whatever small gas equipment you have that doesn't have a battery, they have a magneto ignition. They don't need a battery. And in fact, putting 12 volts to that coil is a pretty quick way to need a new coil. So I'm glad the fuse burned out as quick as it did. And so I went ahead and I got a proper, you guys, if you've worked on a lot of lawn tractors, you'll recognize that setup. Proper lawn tractor key switch. It's exactly like the one that came off. So got the battery out, and I'll throw this in. We'll give it a little Dr. Pepper. Actually, before I had hooked up the ignition wire to the condenser and I was crank testing it, if I'd given it some Dr. Pepper then, it may have ran. The problem we would have had is we wouldn't have been able to shut it off until it runs out of fuel. And that's the difference here. This does not give 12 volts to the coil, to the magneto. But what it does do is when we shut it off, it grounds that terminal. So it grounds the coil and kills the spark. So your engine will shut off. So that's important. These terminals actually aren't marked, which is a shame, but that's okay. We'll figure it out, get it wired up, and then we'll give it a go. Only took a few minutes, so hopefully what will happen now is when we turn the key, it will crank and it won't pop this fuse. All right, took a bit of fiddling to figure out the right wiring configuration for this switch, but hopefully we will now see cranking without popping this fuse. Nothing. Again, with the nothing. Well, hopefully, third time's the charm. I basically had to pull the switch off and map it out myself because the contacts are not configured in the same way as, well, basically it's the MTD switch that they say that replaces, it's wired differently. So basically it was the one of the least expensive options, and it came fast. So I guess you get what you pay for. And well, hopefully now we get some crankage. I had to do some other things. Oh, I need the keys in my pocket. The terminals on the back of the switch were actually kind of loose. I tried soldering them to the sort of brass rivets, and that actually made it a little worse. So, I mean, maybe I've caused issues there internally. I hope not. I ended up super gluing the terminals to the back plate so that they don't kind of spin around and contact each other. Okay, well, that's something. I just noticed I've still got tape on the end of this exhaust to keep the critters out. Well, I can only assume what's left will burn off in due time. Let's put a little bit of Dr. Pepper to this now. All right.